Many tend to undervalue Sigma INFJs because of their detached and passive reactions, but the fact is that they have no idea what these geniuses are truly thinking. The thinking of an INFJ Sigma. These are 10 examples of a Sigma INFJ's genius. Number 10, I choose the procedures I have. The capacity of the Sigma INFJ to choose what has an impact on them is another example of their genius. The Sigma INFJ cannot hide its capacity to steady itself in the face of powerful currents, and this is the pinnacle of resilience. These intensely emotional creatures wobble but never break. They do this by having an inner conversation, especially while solving difficulties, since they have the capacity to reflect and introspect. They even converse to themselves to seek advice from their higher selves, which does not imply that they are mad. Sigma INFJs exhibit exceptional emotional endurance. Speaking aloud or whispering to oneself helps one develop self-control, a quality required for intellect. Hence, even during busy work hours or the most trying times of their lives, INFJ Sigmas are the last to give up. When under pressure, they don't just engage in any combat, they make informed decisions. Number 9, what more need to I say regarding Sigma? INFJs are prone to flitting from one subject to another. The question, what more should I talk about? Or this appears to relate to the prior issue, therefore I should talk about this too, are frequent thoughts in their minds. It is understandable why they are the ideal representations of intellectuals. INFJs often struggle with verbal communication, yet their extensive knowledge enables them to discuss topics that most people are unaware of. During discussions, they make sure they are mentally prepared to facilitate their thoughts before attempting to outline or present them to the group. They wouldn't embarrass themselves or confuse their listeners by not planning what they say. This is because they have so many ideas that they already struggle to simplify and organize them. They get frustrated since it takes more work to get their idea over to the majority despite the fact that they have a lot to say. Number 8, what else can you tell me about the Sigma INFJ's frustration with simple explanations and shallow solutions, which makes those around them act smart? Since they are unable to control their thoughts, shallow individuals find it difficult to converse with Sigma INFJs. Provocative questions and follow-up statements. The Sigma INFJ's unquenchable need to learn and become more aware of the world may annoy or inspire others. It compels them to question established structures, instead than adopting everyone's logic, which most people have been following for decades or centuries. They challenge it and look into the fundamental reasons. They also enjoy strange art and discovering new cultures or languages. They ask insightful questions that help them get to the bottom of a situation, and because they have access to the minds of others on the internet, they can easily explore new interests and disassemble things to learn how they all function. Number 7, am I expressing it correctly? Some individuals may come off as intellectual because they aren't bothered with being right or logical. Instead, they are just interested in sounding and projecting an air of intelligence. Sigma INFJs, on the other hand, are astute observers who, in addition to rethinking their ideas before they are spoken, have a great recall for the words they hear and read, which enables them to spot people's contradictions. Also, they have a profound grasp of nature, which enables them to detect changes in their environment swiftly. As they have an acute awareness of patterns, their observations are also mirrored in their creativity. They are typically praised for their comprehension and empathy since they have a high degree of understanding and are able to infer someone's thoughts and feelings from their behavior patterns. How else may being perceptive and thoughtful help an INFJ? Number 6, should I deal with this? Without apology, Sigma INFJs spend a lot of time alone, and they think that testing is one of the best ways to sharpen their wits. INFJs that identify as Sigmas need a lot of time to unwind and refuel since they find solace and fulfillment in their introversion. They are able to endure extended periods of isolation without any outside stimulus, noise, or disturbances. They have spent the most of their time alone, which has allowed them to be at peace with themselves. Yet few understand that a Sigma INFJ's capacity for finding fulfillment in their own business implies when other bright individuals are unhappy with their friendships, professions, and personal relationships, they are enlightened by their own stillness and light, which reveal their brilliance and intellect. Sigma INFJs are not. They place more importance on their connections with themselves than with others, letting their compassion to overflow into their interpersonal interactions. Because of this, individuals engage in less socializing and more contemplative activities, and activities related to their interests. Number 5, is this truly true, or am I simply feeling this way? Although those Sigma INFJs have strong emotions, they are still able to view things clearly. They contend that it's crucial to maintain objectivity, especially in higher-ranking positions where one's choices might have a big influence on an organization's success. Some individuals, however, think of Sigma INFJs as outstanding, grounded, and transparent leaders because they are logical and objective. They analyze their options objectively and put aside their emotions for the good of the group. What other benefits might objectivity bring to your decision-making? Number 4, what if these things occur? Being a fighter simply serves to highlight how intelligent Sigma INFJs are. INFJs like Sigma worry about a lot of things. It's because worrying enables Sigma INFJs to mentally get ready for any unfavorable or risk that can arise. It helps people get ready physically, psychologically, and financially for anything that could occur at any time. INFJs spend time worrying about things that other people don't notice or care about, which is why they are more prepared than everyone else. They were able to avoid unfavorable outcomes because of their intuition, which allowed them to spot clues in their environment that others missed. Simply put, Sigma INFJs are always worried because they are knowledgeable, might pose a danger, and need to be ready for everything. They thus put great effort into coming up with strategies to prevent encountering the actual issue. Number 3, what would the Sigma make people think? Another sign of an INFJ's brilliance is their capacity to put themselves in others' shoes and see the world through their eyes. Sigma INFJs also impress others with their sanity and comprehension rather than being blinded by their self-centeredness and one-sided judgment. They take into account the opinions and feelings of others before acting, and they have a high level of empathy, especially for those who are close to them. People will notice their empathy even if they try to hide it or play it down, since only a select handful can truly care to defend others' norms and feelings on their behalf. As a Sigma, they also take into account the mental training of others. How can being a strong empath assist an INFJ? Number 2, perhaps they are correct and I am mistaken. The defining characteristic of INFJ's open-mindedness is their natural curiosity and never-ending need for knowledge, which practically everyone they interact with during conversations can attest to. In an effort to better grasp what other people are saying, they make an effort to listen to them and even put themselves in their shoes. From here, they don't indoctrinate anyone with their own particular ideas. What if I was mistaken the whole time? They ponder. As a result, even after coming to a firm opinion, they won't be hesitant to consider other, more sensible viewpoints. Their open-mindedness will shield them from deception and ensure that they don't risk losing their minds if they decide to assess if the new notion is accurate. As a result, they'll be willing to let others alter their opinions because they stand to gain nothing. Number 1, can I really compete? The fact that geniuses like Sigma INFJs can never accept their own greatness speaks much about their brilliance, while less informed and skilled individuals frequently overestimate their initiative and mental power. Humility is intelligence. It is also intelligence to be able to examine one's thinking, second-guess one's decisions, or have doubts about one's convictions. Those who are smart, like Sigma INFJs, are much more conscious of their limits. Being aware of these limitations allows them to surround themselves with others who have more knowledge or experience than they have. They are more likely to grow and develop as people as a result of this practice, since it gives them access to their information every day and raises their desire for further knowledge. Unless they have supported their own viewpoints with indisputable data, they can cast doubt on them. They also take issue with those who praise their intelligence and skill in academia or the workplace. Sigma INFJs only recognize their shortcomings, which makes them feel as though they haven't lived up to their standards. But do others mistake your humility for having poor self-esteem if you're a Sigma INFJ? Sigma INFJs don't need to demonstrate their intelligence to others, since all of the ideas they have are a part of their own inner universe, and they only share them with people who can completely understand them. Do you too think like this? How do they influence your decisions and behaviors each day?